I have a curated designer handbag collection. I don't like to baby my pieces, so I usually prefer bags with the more durable materials. I have a simple routine to keep my bags in good shape. This is important for me because I intend to use them for many years to come, and I have no plan to keep buying more and more designer handbags. Humidity and moisture can really affect the leather quality in the long run. In extreme cases, you might even have to deal with the very unpleasant molding issues, so this is something I pay more attention to. Previously, my bags were stored in the closet in the ensuite room. The daily shower means a lot of humidity in the room, so I often had to turn on the dehumidifier for a long period of time just to make sure my bags were okay. While last year we had the opportunity to add a new space to our house, the common practice is to have an ensuite room, but I decided to go for a separate bathroom instead to keep this room dry. I still turn on the dehumidifier every 2 days to keep any excess moisture away. Constant exposure to direct sunlight can cause color fading. This is especially the case if you have an open wardrobe like mine or a closed wardrobe with glass doors. So I try to leave my handbags in the dust bags when I'm not filming. I also leave the blinds down every time I leave the room. These are blackout blinds, and as far as I can tell, they do block everything out because the room is completely dark even on a very sunny day. For storage, I leave plenty of room for each handbag just so they don't contact each other in any way. Especially for those handbags made of smooth and supple leather, constant pressure can sometimes flatten the leather or cause shape distortion. Pattern leather, on the other hand, is a bit like a sponge, so it's a good idea to keep it away from all your other pieces to prevent color transfer. Some people are a bit nervous about owning pattern leather pieces. To be honest, I haven't had any issues with my Chanel mini flap. It's still looking pretty brand new, and the leather is still shiny and puffy. Before I move on, I want to say thank you to our sponsor today, Squarespace. I use Squarespace to build my own website. Here you'll see the items in my small wardrobe, the books I recommend, my skincare, and my social media platforms. I used to think you had to be really tech savvy to create a beautiful website, but with Squarespace, everything is pretty much drag and drop. They have some really amazing templates if you have no idea where to start. Whether if you're looking to have an online store, a professional portfolio, or build a community, Squarespace has everything you need. You no longer have to be a coding expert or a website designer to have your own perfect website. Go to Squarespace for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/colourfulnoir to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Moving on, I like to keep my bags supported to prevent them from sagging. The Hermes BIRKIN and Kelly bags came with a couple of bubble wraps, which I used to store my handbags with. In the last few months, however, I've been leaving the sealed bag inserts from Mirande in the bags as the support. They hold the bags up nicely without overextending them. Leaving the bag inserts in the bags works well for me because I can use the bags right away. To be honest, I had been using my Hermes bags for years without any bag inserts. Luckily for me, I haven't noticed any scratches or wear and tear on the inside. But I now think having a bag insert can really make a difference, especially for handbags with leather interior. When I bought my Hermes handbags, I was told by my sales associate that depending on how I use my handbags, I can send them to Paris for a spa when the time is right. But I recently found out they don't actually refurbish the interior of the bag. I'm not sure about you, but scratches do bother me. If you are the same, bag inserts might be the answer. I never use the lock or the keys that come with the Hermes BIRKIN and Kelly bags. Some people hang them on the bag as an accessory. I'm not too keen about the idea because I can imagine there'll be constant friction against the leather. This is why mine are still looking completely brand new. I always store them in their own dust bags and they sit right behind the handbags. I do the same with the shoulder straps for the Hermes Kelly bags. As for my other handbags that didn't come with their own bubble wraps, for example Louis Vuitton, I simply use the clothes I no longer wear or the clothes my little boy has outgrown. I'll suggest to use something with soft-ish material and make sure there isn't any harsh elements like embellishments, beads or a rigid collar. You might also want to be sensible about color selection if you're handling a light colored bag because color transfer is always a possibility. Most importantly, avoid overstuffing the bag because it will stretch the leather over time. If you prefer something a bit more customized, there are now websites that sell storage pillows for pretty much any mainstream designer handbags. In terms of cleaning, I usually give my bags a gentle wipe every 2 weeks or so with a microfiber cloth that came with my sunglasses. After using a bag, I will empty out the content, shake it gently upside down to remove any debris or dust, then do the wiping inside out before putting it away. Occasionally, I also use baby wipes, which are fragrance-free and alcohol-free to remove any dirt or debris. For example, if I'm caught in the rain or if I've been to a really crowded place, I'll then finish off by going over with a microfiber cleaning cloth to make sure everything is nice and dry. I don't really use any leather cream or spray on my bags. Honestly, I'm a bit worried about using generic products on luxury handbags. Plus, I'm not well versed enough to do something so technical myself. So I prefer to do the basics consistently, and if there's any concerning issue, I will then seek professional help. The open wardrobe does collect some dust, so I do my dusting every week. I'm now considering about installing glass doors like many of you have suggested before. They are not available in IKEA though, so I have some research to do. As for smell or odor, this room is quite a distance away from my kitchen, so I don't really worry about my bags harboring any odor. I do have a diffuser on this side. It doesn't sit directly next to my handbags, and so far I've not had any issues. This might sound tedious, but I do routinely check the weather before deciding on the bag I'm using for that day. If it's pouring it down, you can bet I won't be carrying my lambskin Lady Dior. I most probably would go for a Louis Vuitton canvas bag instead, like the Louis Vuitton mini backpack. As you can see, I love my black handbags. I find them to be quite worry-free because I don't have to worry about color transfer from my dark jeans. With all my bags, I keep the proof of purchase and all the packaging safely in storage. Even though I enjoy what I have, I'm quite aware that things can always change, so in the future, if I do want to sell anything, I would love the new owner to be able to have the whole package. I think it really makes the purchase more pleasant for the buyer. Besides, buying pre-loved can be a bit scary, and having a receipt can really give the new owner the peace of mind. All it takes is just a bit of organizing on my part, and I think it's something worth doing. As you can see, my routine for looking after my luxury handbags is fairly simple, but it's still time-consuming. I'm not complaining because I do enjoy my bags and I want them to last. But I think you get the idea that having designer handbags means you have to take the time to maintain and upkeep them. So I think it's sensible to keep my bag collection to a reasonable size, just so I'm not spending every minute of my life caring for them or worrying about them. I hope you like this video. As always, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Take care and I will see you soon.